Hey Bible lovers, I'm Tim Nichols and I'm here to bring you your Nichols Worth. And today from Tyndale we have the NLT Thin Line Center Column Reference Bible, not to be confused with the Slim Line that was previously released. And this is one I've really been anticipating in the genuine leather. They have it in the brown genuine leather and in the black genuine leather. It does come with two ribbons. Unfortunately, the ribbons are single-sided. You can see that it's flat on this side and shiny on the other, but that's not a big deal. Ribbons are easy to replace. First of all, the leather looks really nice. One thing I wish they would do is go ahead and add some perimeter stitching. I do know that that can be a bit expensive. One thing they do right is this synthetic liner has some reinforcement tape there, lets you know it's a genuine leather cover. Now, I'm not sure what this genuine leather is. I'm not sure if it's a cowhide or a pigskin. I perceive by its texture and feel that it's probably a cowhide, and pigskin tends to be a little more tough and stiff. So with that said, let's dive into the layout of this thing, because this is where this Bible is awesome. I love me a classic layout. One of the reasons I really like a center column layout is because it puts your references in the middle between the two columns. It saves you some space, and also on the bottom you can have your notes separate. I really like to have the notes and the references separate. This is an 8.5 point font. Now it is a little tight in the leading space there, but not bad. It is line matched as well, so you're not going to see that ghosting. I'm not sure the GSM of this paper. It feels to me to be probably, I'm going to guess it at 33 GSM, but just keep in mind that is a guess. I'm pretty confident that this is going to be a 33 GSM paper just by feel. But when you take a look at the chapter numbers, you can see they're nice and bold, but the verse numbers are very small, but they still are bold a little bit. So from a preaching teaching standpoint, this may be a little difficult for you to find your verses, but ultimately from a reading experience, it's going to be very nice. I like a double column text. I always have. Single columns are fine, but for some reason when it comes to Bibles, I am used to a double column text, and that's just what sits the best with me. Another thing about this Bible is it does have the Filament enablement. How you enable the Filament is you download the Filament app, which you can download on your iOS or your Android, and then you go to the title page and it has this code here. Now I'll go ahead and put in the end screen a video where I demonstrate how to do this, and this tells you to go to a specific page. You go to that page, you scan it, and then you're set up and you have all your study notes, your maps, your commentaries, everything you could possibly need for this little thin line to go with you, and you have the benefit of a study Bible. If you watch the Bible draft, then you saw Tim Frisch and I going back and forth about this kind of being silly, but he's got a solid point. You can carry a thin Bible that's a personal size, and you got all your study material there. The spine on this thing, I like it. I like the spine. I'd like to see some spine hubs. I'd like to see them get a little more fancy on that, but I do like the spine isn't real busy, so I like it. It's not my favorite, but I do like it. Also, one thing about these that's really cool is each one has a little bit of a book introduction. So that's kind of a neat feature to have. So you got a little small book introduction, then you have the text of the Bible, you have your references in the middle, your notes on the bottom. Then when you get to the New Testament, you're going to see that the words of Christ are in red, and that is a phenomenal red. Now I'm going to go ahead and open this one, even though it's the same Bible, and we are going to check and see the consistency of the red letter between both. And you can see that is nice, solid, consistent print. So when you turn it from page to page, we'll use this one as our comparison. You can see that the red letter stays nice and dark and burgundy and consistent, so it's not all over the place. So that's a benefit. Now when you get to the back of a Filament Bible, you're going to see some extra little tools that you won't see in some of your other Bibles. An NLT word study system, which breaks down the Hebrew and Greek with dictionary and index. So you're going to have your Greek or your Hebrew word and your definition. Then you're also going to have the concordance dictionary, which just gives you kind of a really small definition. And then after that, there's some features that are really nice for the Filament Bible. You get a visual overview of the Bible. You get the world of the patriarchs, which is your standard maps, but this is what's really cool. The plagues of Egypt, breaks each one down. More maps. This is Israel's annual calendar, so it shows you their feast and all the different things that they do. Here's the 12 tribes of Israel and how they're broken up and divided into the land. It shows you a division of each book of the Psalms and how they fall into what category. Then we get into some more maps, and then we have the era of the prophets, and it shows you Israel's fall, Judah's fall, the exile. Really cool stuff. More maps. This thing is just loaded. Excellent. One more thing I want to show you real quick. This is called the Church Bible. And this Church Bible is in the NLT, and it is very inexpensive. You can buy a bunch of them and it won't cost you a whole bunch of money, but check out this layout. First of all, this is a cloth overboard. I love that cover design there. It has the similar spine design of your genuine leathers. And of course, this one's going to have a paper liner, but it is tape reinforced. This is also an 8.5 point font, but you can see this one has a little less leading space, so the font is going to look a little bit more crowded. Also, if you want to take a quick look at the poetic settings in this, you can see they are centered. But this is a paragraph format, corner references, which I find to be the hardest to use. But these would be really nice Bibles to stick in your pews, or these would be really nice Bibles to give away for an outreach, or really nice Bibles for you to throw in your car and use for evangelism or whatever. And when you get into the Psalms, let's look at the poetic settings here. This paper seems to be a little thin. You see the poetic settings, there is a lot of ghosting. This is thin paper. I'm going to say this is probably 28, 29. It's definitely thinner than this. So this is not a premium option, but when you get into the standard settings, you can see that does diminish the ghosting some, and the words of Christ are in black. So no red printing here, because color printing costs a little extra. When you get to the back, you can see this is just a Bible. So that's all this is designed to do, but these things are super inexpensive. Tyndale is offering some awesome new releases. I recommend you check them out. God bless you. Keep calm. Jesus on. This is your Nichols Worth.